Well, here we are again, and it's Christmas time for obvious reasons. You can see the tree and you'll see loads and loads of Christmas sweaters. I thought I best not because, you didn't want to outshine anybody. But anyway, it's time to sort of review what we've done in this past year at JourneyMEN, and also to look ahead and also say exactly what we've got in mind for the new year, which is hopefully going to be a lot better than the old year. Fingers crossed, and I hope everybody's been keeping well and keeping fine. Anyway, obviously with me straight at the top of this podcast is our Des. And Des, you've been doing so much over the last year, and I thought you might like to tell us a little bit of the highlights that have happened.
Oh yes, certainly. I mean, obviously, we do so many social activities now. That's the main thing for us, is getting out there, peer-to-peer support, making sure that our men have actually got a support group around them that isn't just us. They make friends within all the social activities we do. We've had some fantastic fishing trips this year. We do our walk and talks every week still. We've been changing up for the winter, so we're going to be doing sort of museums in Liverpool and stuff. Obviously, most of the museums in Liverpool are free to get into, which is absolutely fantastic for our men. Yeah. We did the World Museum the other week for 2 hours, and the guys absolutely loved it. Seeing the Egyptian exhibits, the aquarium. A lot of the fishing guys spent ages in the aquarium looking at the fish that they were catching. So it's one of those little things. We started up walking football this year as well, in conjunction with Tranmere.
We talked about that last time, didn't we? Our last podcast. Well, that's brilliant to know that that's up and running.
Yeah, it's up and running now with Rob, who is our new social media manager, and he's brilliant. Paul has got his gardening club up and running as well. That's on a Wednesday and a Friday. And we've got usage of an allotment down off Tollymash Road in Birkenhead.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so guys go over there and they're looking after the allotments, and they're starting to grow stuff and everything down there, which is great. Again, gives them that bit of peer-to-peer support. Yeah. And they're also getting training through that as well. Which
is really an important thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, because I know so many men come to you that got all sorts of different problems, and a lot of the time it's like jobs as well, and so if they're out of work and they've got like troubles going on in the back of their life as well, I mean, things like that are amazing to just take their minds off that, and they can concentrate on that, meet other people, like-minded people, and it must help so much. I mean, I know it helps on the walks and talks. I mean, because people just talk about anything, and I find it really good. Not that I talk a lot, like you can tell.
No, but we wouldn't say you talk a lot, Pauline, not at all.
But it's absolutely brilliant that that's all happened. So are we planning something for next year, or are you going to come and tell me about it a bit later on during the podcast?
I'll dive in a bit later on.
Nip in and out.
Yeah, I'll do my usual thing and sort of pop back.
Okay.
And then we'll let you know what's going on next year. Obviously, we're looking at the Canal Boats again.
Yeah.
We'll be getting those out.
That was fabulous. That Canal Boat trip that I did with you was fabulous.
Oh, yeah. We had great fun, didn't we?
We certainly did.
We did.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And again, it's just being outside.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, it's not the activity you're doing, it's being outside in nature.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter if you don't catch fish when you're fishing.
No.
Doesn't matter if you don't talk on the walk and talk, but you're outside.
Yeah.
And that is going to get the fresh air in your body, bring the endorphins up, and make you feel a bit better about yourself at the end of the day.
And you've done so well, haven't you, Des? I mean, yourself, personally.
Yeah, I have.
My life couldn't have done it without JourneyMEN?
No, not at all. 18 months ago, I was a completely different person. As I said last time, I was sat quiet, didn't really want to speak to anybody, and I've been brought back out of my shell, and where I am now, and that's absolutely amazing. I'm not saying I don't still have my struggles, everybody does.
Everybody does, yeah.
But there's a support network there now.
And it's even more important because of what's been going on with this horrible pandemic, and you've done so really well to keep going throughout all of that, and to keep the lads' spirits up.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's what we've been trying to do. Because you did Zoom
stuff as well.
Yeah,
Zoom quizzes
we did Zoom calls over last winter in the lockdowns. I was doing quizzes. I was doing play your cards right. We were having games of bingo over Zoom. just really
Yeah.
things just outside the box that no other place has actually sort of thought of.
Well, loads of places shut down.
Well, everywhere shut down.
Yeah, so there was nowhere
You know.
for anybody to go who needed
Yeah.
help and support.
And that's exactly it. And we did stay right open. We stayed open right the way through the pandemic.
We're going to be talking to some great people on this
Yeah.
podcast. We've got, as we were talking before, we've got Steve O'Gorman, who's another guy who, like yourself, walked in, needed help, and they've been able to help him an awful lot. So I'm going to be speaking to him. I'm going to be speaking to Phil, obviously, later. And I'm also getting the doctor in. Michael's got a bad cough.
Yes, yeah,
And-
Michael's coughing away in the background here. He turned up a bit early, but hey, it's all good.
Well, the thing is, it's the official Christmas party day today, so the
It is.
people will be coming in and out as we're doing this podcast, and so that's great.
Yeah.
And then, now I'm going to be speaking to a former Lord Mayor and a former council leader from Liverpool's City Council, and a former councillor, and also a man who started something very, very similar in a lot of ways, because he looked after the community, not just men, but the total community. I'm going to be speaking to Frank Prendergast after you, Des, and then you'll be
brilliant.
popping in and out, won't you?
I certainly will.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome, Pauline. Great speaking to you.
And you. Right, next I'm going to be speaking to Frank Prendergast, who was a former is a former Lord Mayor of Liverpool, former leader of the council at Liverpool, and a former councillor. But I want to speak to Frank about the stuff that he did during his time as Lord Mayor, and also the stuff that he did when he was just a councillor and he did an awful lot for the community. Frank, you ran, basically built BNEC, which is...
Blackfield North Everton Neighbourhood Council.
I know that the men's health section of BNEC was really important to you because, service people aside, men in general do not go to the doctors.
Yeah, men in general do put up with stuff. They just think it's a side effect. There's nothing wrong with me, and they just try to get on with it. And by the time they get to the stage where they want to go to the doctors, it's usually progressed to sometimes at a stage where it's too late.
Yeah.
Or it's gone that far that more serious consequences arise. If things get caught at a very early stage, like cancer, if you catch it at an early stage, if you report symptoms at an early stage, then they can possibly do something with it. But if you leave it until it gets too bad, then sometimes the way of treatment is a lot more severe, and sometimes it's too late.
Yeah.
So there's that thing. Men are very reluctant, and usually a lot of single men have got no one to talk to.
Yeah.
But if you're married or you have family, they may push you into going to the doctor a bit sooner. But there's lots of single men, and unfortunately the way families are nowadays, there are lots of single men around.
There are, yeah.
So there's less chance of them having a mother or a brother or a sister or a
Yeah.
wife or children who push them into going to see the doctor. So, and they become isolated as well. They tend to, because they've got ill health, they stay in a lot. So again, there's nobody picking up on them. There's no social services calling around or knocking on the door and asking you're all right. No one's seen you for a while. So they become more and more reclusive. So what the Men's Health Project did was try to encourage people to come in, and we started a gardening project. We had raised beds. Everywhere we had was concrete, so we put in raised beds. We did have some small pieces of land so that we could do gardening, and we got people involved, and we had greenhouses, and very shortly the lads were involved in growing stuff for themselves. All the food they produced, they could go
Was for
home, and we
themselves.
had cooking projects. We had people coming in,
Yeah.
showing them how to cook properly, and what they grew in the gardens, what they grew in the greenhouses. They take home, and then we got to the stage where we were producing more than they could have, so we were passing it on to others, and we were right alongside a local school, so we got some of the kids involved. The school became interested, and pretty soon the school had their own allotments, and they were teaching the kids how to grow food and how they could use it in their
So it was a big.
cookery lesson.
It was actually a really important part of the community in Everton. So
Yeah.
and I know.
And the other bit was on. You said the waves and the the ex-servicemen. I mean, we got some of them coming in on men's health project.
Uh-huh.
They got involved in that. But the problem with ex-servicemen is, whether we like it or not, they don't like civilians.
Yeah.
They're used to being with
They're with their own
people,
kind, yeah.
and
yeah.
they find hard to mix with them because civilians don't understand. They've got a mentality of working with their own, and it was difficult.
Yeah.
So what we did eventually, while I was Lord Mayor, with the contract that the government signed and said every ex-serviceman coming home should have their own house, and the council should provide them. What they forgot to mention was the council don't have any properties.
That's true.
Because years previous, the government had made it impossible for them to build any, and they were all signed over to housing associations, which was one of the problems. They were all expecting the council to give them it, but the council had none. Anyway, what we did was we got an office on Breck Road, and we turned it over to the servicemen, and they went and ran their own organisation out of there with the help of B-Neck and
Yeah.
Bob Blanchard and a couple of others, and they set up their own organisation, which they've changed the name now to HQ, because again it's a military term that they they all associate with.
Yeah.
They've now moved into St Domingo Grove because the office was in need of a lot of repairs, so they moved into what used to be a community facility in St Domingo Grove, and they've taken over there, and they've expanded, and they've got more and more people coming in. The work that they did there led to the same type of units being set up in Birkenhead, Knowsley, Bootle, and right across Merseyside.
Well, JourneyMEN are in touch with the Vets Association as well. Yeah,
it's really
which is
built
great.
up, and they did all the same sort of things. We had a youth club which we used to take them fishing, taking them for walks.
It's really important, isn't it?
It's getting the community involved, giving them something positive.
Now, 10 years ago it is now, you were Lord Mayor of Liverpool.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you did a lot of great stuff. You met an awful lot of people in the community, and a lot of places like JourneyMEN that were charities that were helping different people. But you also had lunch with the Queen. You took her on the Duck. And I just wondered, what's your sort of favourite story about the Queen?
She came to do her 60th anniversary. We had lunch in the Maritime Museum, which was the day she went on the Duck. And we had lunch. And we were around the table, there was about 12 people around the table, and I actually had an hour and a quarter talking to her. And when we finished, the Lord Lieutenant, Dame Lorna, came and said to me, very good, but you are supposed to let other people around the table get a word in. But we just had this conversation which just flowed, and the Bishop of Liverpool came over and said, you kept her very interested and very animated. She was, whatever you were talking about was really kept her, and she was laughing and joking.
And in 2017 you got, no it wasn't 17 was it, you got an MBE. And when you went to see the Queen, she recognised you straight away. Yeah.
She talked about a visit to Liverpool and an adventure on the Duck, and when she was on the Duck there was a lot of fumes off the boat, and she said to Prince Philip, it's rather whiffy in here, and she wasn't too enamoured. She'd been asked about going on it, and she was quite happy and keen to go on it, but when she got on it she found out that it was a bit more lopsided on the port side than she was expecting. She was a bit nearer the water and there was lots of fumes, but a week or so after she'd been on it sank. So when I went to the palace and she was talking about it, I said, it's just as well you never came the week after, because she said, why is that? I said, it sank. So she started laughing. I said, oh, that would have been great publicity for the city. I said, yeah, for all the wrong reasons. And we had a bit of a conversation about it, but she was very amused that she got there a week early and missed all the excitement. What about?
So, well, it's been great talking to you, Frank, and that's great to know what you did as well over on the other side of the water, because it's basically what Journeymen are doing, and I know that you've joined Journeymen on the board of advisors, and which is great, and so look forward to seeing you later in 2022 and talking again about what we're all going to do to help Journeymen. Right, Des, you're back. Obviously, it's a busy time of the year for everybody, and everybody's doing all sorts of things. So, Journeymen have obviously got something great up their sleeve.
Yeah, as always, this time of year. We're here today in Prenton Rugby Club. This is our men's Christmas party this afternoon, starting at 1 o'clock. So we've got all our men coming along to that, or as many who want to attend.
Yeah.
You know.
Have we got food?
There's going to be food. We've got a curry coming.
Oh!
We've also got a load of snacks and drinks that were kindly donated by Asda Arrow Park. Ian Grant there.
Oh, Ian's lovely.
Ian's amazing, isn't he?
Ian is amazing. He's helped me so much with all sorts of stuff for charities. He really is great.
Yeah.
He's lovely, and I like him because he's the same height as me. He's only little.
Yeah, he is only little. He is only little. But thank you very much to Asda Arrow Park and Ian Grant for doing that for us today. They've helped us amazingly over the last year as well. With things like tea and coffee and stuff for the office, you know, just to keep us going as well, you know what I mean? So that's today. Now, we do unfortunately close the office down on the 23rd of this month.
Okay.
But every day up until the 5th of January, when the office is closed, there is telephone support between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, so just call the office number if any of our men need that support.
Can we give them the number now?
Certainly, and that's 0151 792 9159. And also, if you're not one of our men and you do find yourself in crisis over Christmas, or you just need someone to talk to, call that number as well. You know, there is going to be somebody on the phone lines. And they'll give you the support, and if you need signposting somewhere, they'll point you in the right direction to get the help you need at this time of year. The other thing we're doing as well, for the second year on the run, I'm taking some men out on Christmas Day fishing.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be cold.
Yes, but that's always good. It's fine. It's never the weather, it's only ill-prepared clothing.
Well, yeah, fair enough, yeah. I'll take that, yeah.
So if everybody's wrapped up, it's not a problem.
But that's great, because there's an awful lot of people. It's a very worrying time of the year. It's bad enough if you're lonely at any time of the year, but it's a million times worse at Christmas.
It is.
And it's nice to know that there is somewhere to go, and that you don't have to be on your own. No,
and that's it. And this year I've got at least a couple of our men coming.
Even if you don't like fishing,
even
just
if you
go.
don't like fishing, you can come along and just sit with us and have a chat.
Yeah.
You know, and it's great. Christmas Day is always good because there's always people out walking the dogs before lunch and stuff anyway. So there's always somebody going past having a chat. But again, if you're alone on Christmas Day or you're not seeing your family till Boxing Day, come along.
Yeah.
Come and join us. Give me an email. Call the number that I've just given you. And come along to our fishing event, you know, it's one of those. And very kindly, the Communications Workers Union, they gave us a donation last week, so any of the bait on Christmas Day is actually being paid for by the CWU as well, which is absolutely fantastic.
It's brilliant to know that, you're there anyway. Can you give us that number again?
Yes, certainly. It's 0151 792 9159. And as I say, those lines will be open 8 till 3. And that's from the 24th, Christmas Eve, until the 4th of January. All right.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Des.
No
Cheers.
problem, Pauline.
Right, well, now I need to get my coat on because I'm going to have a little walk around Prenton Rugby Club. We're going to find out exactly what's on offer, not just for Journeymen, but for everybody else as well. And then I'll be back. When I come back, I'm going to be speaking to Steve O'Gorman. I'm outside now and it's cold, but I'm with Brian Elkerton. Now, Brian knows all about the rugby club and he's going to tell us a little bit of what's going on, not only now, but what's happening in the future. And we are here actually in the garden. So, Brian, tell us about the garden.
It's a 10-house community garden. We've put the raised beds here for people with disabilities, flags here for them, and then what you've got here now, you've got a picnic area, you've got a barbecue, You've got the water recycled from the roof. We bought those containers. We've got this polytunnel. And now what you've got...
What's in the polytunnel?
I'll show what's in the polytunnel.
Can we go into the polytunnel? Can you follow us?
Don't leave me in here on my own with Pauline.
Okay.
Now what we've got here is stuff that getting ready for planting for next year for Prenton and Bloom. I'll take you outside now. We've built like a bug hotel.
Oh, these are very...
They are good. We've built one ourselves, but what's going to happen, the school kids, they're going to make their own. Each school, we've got 2 schools, Prenton Primary, and I can't think of my Tranmere Rovers. They're going to start doing their own. So they come here, the area is all self-contained, it's safe. We've got all the different type of birds come up here. We've got doing woodcraft. So here's our now, we've got a bug hotel. We've got a wet area there. We've got newts in there now, little frogs in there. So there's our wet area. Now what happens here, Pauline, the water comes down here and it holds there, so it was a swamp. We got all sorts of insects, this, that and the other. And a girl's been down and she wants to do start doing bees down here.
Oh, brilliant, because we need to look after the bees.
That's right, well all this now, there's a flower pot going there, bomb flowers that go in there. There's a bug hotel. We've got timber now to make 2 other bug hotels for 2 different schools. So they'll come down and they get involved, they can start planting their own stuff. The idea is to plant saplings for the trees. Once they get to a certain height, they can take them to the schools then, plant them in the schools, and years to come they can say to their kids, I planted that.
Wow.
That's what they're the type of thing we're looking to do.
It's nature on your doorstep for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's really good, I mean, for absolutely everybody. And also, I've just seen you delivering a load of Christmas hampers
Yeah.
to the local community, which is a great thing.
Well,
so the rugby club is a hell of a lot more than a rugby club, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we want to embrace local. The idea is to combat loneliness, health, mental well-being, the youth. You know, getting them involved. Once this development's done, once a week of a night time, there's going to be a youth cafe with various activities to get the youth off the estate up here, get them involved in some sort of activities and sport. Sport's a great release.
Well, I spent my youth on this estate at Prenton Youth Club.
I believe so, I've heard some stories, yeah.
They're all true. JourneyMEN work with many partners across the Wirral, and one of such is the Cheshire Wirral Partnership NHS Foundation Trust, and they refer men to JourneyMEN, like my next guest, who is Steve O'Gorman. Hiya, Steve.
Hiya.
Lovely to see you.
And you?
And you're looking great. Last time we met, we were on a walk and talk around the park, weren't we?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's right. Now, you came to JourneyMEN. How long ago was it when you came to JourneyMEN?
About 7 or 8 months ago.
Uh-huh.
I'd come from a really bad situation that was developing as we spoke.
Uh-huh.
Basically, I was suffering from extensive PTSD.
Uh-huh.
And I was in the middle of a breakup as well. I was really alone and low, and I couldn't see no light at the end of the tunnel.
Uh-huh.
I was pointed in the direction of the JourneyMEN, and I haven't looked back since.
Now, how are you feeling? Well, you say you've not looked back since, so how are you feeling now? Are you feeling a lot happier with the way things have been? Or what are you doing? What did you do to actually change your mood?
You wouldn't believe the amazing things JourneyMEN actually do. They actually come forward and brought me out myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was at my lowest of the low in that office, and the smallest of things mean so much when you're in that type of a position. I was suicidal. I was ready to check out. I had so much going on, and my brain couldn't cope with it. But the smallest of things, just a man that you don't know giving you a hug.
What did you do? Did you walk in or did you ring up? Or?
I was put forward via the hospital.
Right, okay.
And the hospital got in touch with the JourneyMEN on my behalf. I came in, I had an interview. I then had some developing issues, and then since then I've been going on the walk and talks and actively involved in the JourneyMEN.
Mm-hmm.
As well as doing the fishing with Des, which is fun, of course.
Yeah.
But the people I've met has changed my whole life for the better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as I said, the smallest of things mean so much when you're at that stage. A little handshake, a hug,
from someone you don't know. That meet and greet when you first meet everyone up. No, it's priceless.
Because they are wonderful, aren't they, all of the staff?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, they're all great. And of course, like sort of, did you take advantage of everything that JourneyMEN have got to offer, like the counselling?
Yes, I have. I've had counselling with Peter
Uh-huh.
when I was first starting out, because I needed, and a time since, I've needed a little boost because things are not going in the way that they want to go, and it's beyond it's beyond control in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
I've come on the back of a military background. I don't want to divulge too much into that.
No.
Because it's caused, where I was when I first came here, I'd lost absolutely everything. And I was in dire straits. I was homeless. I was living in an accommodation in Liverpool, which I don't want to name because for liable reasons.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's when we met. You were in Liverpool at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's you told me about being in Liverpool, because I was a bit worried about the fact that you had to travel all that way, but you did it.
I did it because I wanted to be with the people I know were helping me along my journey.
So what about the housing situation now? Where are you with that?
I am actually in the brand new house over this side of the water. I can't look back. I've got everything going for me. I've been through extensive treatments, EMDR, CPD, as well as the new cognitive behavioural one.
Uh-huh.
And I've gone through everything, and I seem to be getting myself more confident and more social. A lot of the issues that I had don't seem to be there anymore.
And do you think a lot of that's to do with, as we were talking earlier about when I was with Frank, talking about the fact that people who are in the services, they sort of build a wall around themselves and can only get on, or they can't not only get on with, but tend to feel happiest if they're with other service people?
Yes and no. I mean, where in my position, it had been a long time since I was in the service.
Right.
There'd been like a 25-year gap.
Ah, right.
So
you'd been used to living like an ordinary
civilian
Joe
life,
Blogg civilian, yeah.
But as I said, it's been different circumstances. I grew up with the army.
Right.
My father was in the army. I lived in Germany for 16 years.
Ah, so well, there you go. So it was in your blood from the beginning, yeah.
And then it was natural progression. I was going to join up myself. I went, did my service, and then came back here, got married. Things didn't go according to plan there, but hey ho.
You're looking at marriage number 4, are you? I don't know anything about plans and marriage. But so I'm really, really thrilled that you're in a brand new house, and you. What about the job situation?
I'm still not able to work.
Okay.
Few little problems have arose lately.
Right.
Just a few medical issues that I've got to see through. When you get to my age, happens.
But because of JourneyMEN and you're having a house, I'm hoping that you're being looked after financially by the government.
I've been looked after very well.
Right.
I've been pointed in the right direction by JourneyMEN.
Yeah.
I haven't had no problems at all, and my hand goes out to every one of them that the time they put in for these people.
Yeah.
It's priceless. I mean, I can't, emphasise as the most smallest of things mean so much.
Yeah. So, tell us, Steve, what are you hoping for yourself in 2022?
I'm nearing the end of my journey, and I'd like it, put it on camera that I'd like to give some back what you people have given me.
Ah, that's lovely. That is fantastic. Well, Steve, it's been really lovely talking to you, and I look forward to talking to you again later on in the year, and let's see how things develop. But thank you so much for being so open and candid and telling us exactly what it is that JourneyMEN have helped you with.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Right, Des.
Hello again, Pauline.
So, 2022 is going to be a busy year. So what's coming up in the first 3 months?
First 3 months of 2022 is going to be really busy. Of course, obviously consolidating the end of last year. But as usual, our walk and talks will be going on Wednesdays.
Yep.
10:30 and 11:30. Unless we're going to a museum or something.
I love that. Explain that to us, because I know when I came, some of us are slower walkers than others.
That's it. Yeah.
So you've actually tailored it now so that we all finish at the same time.
Pretty much, yeah, because what we found is
Because
when
I'm
we were
not
doing,
a fast walker. Yeah.
well, yeah, it's one of those, because obviously people have got different abilities. Some people have
Yeah.
got physical disabilities, and can't walk as quick, So what we did is basically say, right, if you want to come for a fast, longer walk, come at 10:30. We'll do a couple of miles round the park, wherever we are, and that's fine. And then the 11:30 one, it's a bit slower. We don't go as far, and might actually stop off and have a cup of coffee somewhere as well. But yeah, it's tailored to our clientele, because we do have a full age range right through from 18 to 77.
Yeah.
So obviously an 18-year-old's going to move a bit quicker than a
lot
77-year-old.
quicker, yeah.
Yeah.
So apart from the walk and talk, what else?
Well, we have our Chit and Chat here every Monday at Prenton Rugby Club.
This is great, yeah. I came to the first one, yeah. It was great, it was really nice. And I mean, as much as I love the walk and talk, it's nice to be inside and have a cuppa and a biscuit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's nice and warm in here as well.
Yeah.
And it's really friendly.
Yeah.
And it just gives people a chance, so you're not outside trying to talk outside. Sometimes you might want to just sit on your own in a corner with somebody and have a chat.
Yep.
A lot of people are like that. Don't need thousands of people around them.
Yeah.
Also, so that's every Monday from 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock, and that's here at Prenton Rugby Club. Tuesdays we have our walking football. That's starting again on the 11th of January. That's at Prenton Park in the community hub there.
That's great, because Tranmere Rovers have got on board.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Tranmere Rovers are absolutely amazing with us. We do actually get tickets now to the matches, the home matches as well. So if any of our men do want to go to the football, you can actually come along on Boxing Day. If you meet us at the John King statue at 2:30 on Boxing Day, there will be tickets there. Only for up to 14 men, because they don't give us any more, but
Okay,
that's
so if there's ever not 14, you will tell me, won't you, so I can come?
certainly,
Because I'm a big Tranmere Rovers fan.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did really well on Saturday. They
And
beat
they
Leighton
did.
Orient.
Well, where are we now? Fifth.
Fifth.
Yeah,
Fifth
which
in
is
the league.
great, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is
and
really
we've
good.
got like a game in hand, 2 games in hand on the top.
Yeah,
Ah, I see.
yeah. So it's looking quite good for Mickey Mellon there.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
but yeah, thank you very much to Tranmere Rovers and the community for giving us those tickets for every home match as well. So every home match we will have tickets for Tranmere Rovers. That's going right the way through 2022 season as well.
Brilliant. Excellent.
So the walking football is 11:15 on a Tuesday. 10 on a Tuesday meeting, my bad. And there is a £3 charge for that, because obviously, unfortunately, they do charge us for the court.
Yeah.
But, that's an hour of football for £3. You can't really get an hour's entertainment for £3.
No, you
No.
can't even buy a cup of coffee for £3 these
No, you
days
can't.
in some
You
places.
can't.
No.
Yeah. Then, as I said, Wednesday and Friday is our gardening club. And Thursdays is sort of a quiet day. It lets us in the office do some work.
Yeah.
So we're actually in the office doing the work that we need to do. And then there's phone support every weekend between 8 and 3.
Yeah.
And if you keep an eye on the website as well, the fishing events will go up there. My email's always attached to the fishing events. And if you email me, want to come along, that's absolutely fine. And there's it's going to be a huge year. There's lots of stuff lots of irons in the fire at the moment.
Yeah.
That I can't really talk about, because nothing's been sort of finalised, but it will be finalised, and we're going to move forward in a huge way.
Well, I'm really hoping that we get some bigger premises, so that I can start a sort of little drama course or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that is one of the major things we are onto this
Yeah.
year. Is we need that bigger premises to give a drop into our men.
It's great, because I mean, you didn't need it in the beginning because there weren't that many, and now you need it because there are so many people who are actually picking up that phone and walking through that door, which is, and it's made such a big difference to people's lives, as we've heard from Steve. You know, the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference, and that's wonderful. Well, very happy New Year, Des.
And a happy Christmas and happy New Year to you too, Pauline.
And hopefully I'll get to go back on my tour next year. But
yes, of course, yeah. How did it go at the Floral, by the way?
Well, it went very well, and I know So your mum and dad came.
My mum and dad came,
What
yes.
did they think?
They loved it.
Oh, well, I know Michael loved it because Michael loves me doing When You're Good to Mama from Chicago. So
Yes.
and I gave him a mention as well, a special mention.
Oh, well,
so.
Michael will have been made up with that.
But yeah, there were some from JourneyMEN who came, and it was
Yeah.
great. It was really nice of them to come and support me, so that was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Well, hopefully we'll get you back on tour again.
Hopefully we will.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant,
I
Pauline.
enjoyed Home Baked as well. Some of the lads came to see Home Baked, which was the musical at the Royal Court.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
yes, I remember
So
that one, yeah.
yeah. So I was quite busy towards the back end of this year, but hopefully things won't be too bad, and I'll be able to pick up where I left off next year.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that as well, Pauline.
Brilliant. Okay.
All right. Thanks
Cheers.
very much.
Des.
Have a
Thanks
lovely
a lot.
one.
I'm now with Phil, and you all know Phil. We spoke to Phil in the first podcast, and Phil, it's Christmas time, and so you've got to have a message for people out there who need journeymen, and also for this lovely lot behind us who are about to have a party.
So everyone, our journey is your journey. We've had an amazing journey, haven't we, Pauline? And we've had an amazing 2021. 2022 is going to be even bigger and better. I heard before that we were talking about the bigger premises. That's what we are aiming for. We want this type of venue for journeymen, our men and the families. It's great to see our men with the families today here, and that's what we want for 2022 as well. So on behalf of everyone here, on behalf of me, my staff, our community, our supporters who have supported us all the way through our journey, I want to wish you a happy and peaceful and loving Christmas and New Year. Everyone, cheers!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Very quickly, I would like to mention that Journeymen have been nominated in the Steve Morgan Awards this year. So if you could dive on the Steve Morgan website, give Journeymen your vote, and hopefully that means then we can move on to even bigger and better things with the support of the Steve Morgan Foundation.